Most of the sellers who get sued after closing had no idea they were doing anything wrong.
Some sellers close, hand over the keys, and never think about that house again. Others get a letter in the mail 8 months later, sometimes longer, demanding tens of thousands of dollars over something they never thought twice about.
If you're thinking about selling your home in the Dallas area, these are things you need to know before you ever put a sign in the yard, because not knowing can cost you thousands of dollars.
We're counting down the top 10 reasons sellers end up in that situation, starting at number 10, the least expensive mistake on the list, and building all the way up to number 1.
Stay with us for that last one. It costs sellers more than anything else on this list, and it might surprise you.
Real quick before we jump into it, we're Bret and Molly Chance, and thanks for clicking on this video. If you learned anything new today, hit that like button and get subscribed to the channel. And if you'd like to work with our team, we're extremely active in the Dallas-Fort Worth market. You can just book a call at the link below. Now, the data behind this countdown comes from Seller's Shield, a company that protects home sellers from post-sale disputes. They did a nationwide study of nearly 200 real disclosure claims to find out what's actually driving these lawsuits.
The same 10 issues are in every market and at every price point, Dallas-Fort Worth included. And here's what makes this list so important to understand before you sell. If a buyer believes you hid something, Texas gives them 2 years to bring a claim under the Texas Consumer Protection Law. And that 2 years starts from the time they discover the issue, not from the closing date.
And if they can show it was intentional, that window stretches to 4 years. So you're not just dealing with a few months of exposure after you close, you could be dealing with years. And most of the time you've already moved, you've already spent the money, and you think it's all behind you. And as you'll see in this list, the average time for one of these claims to even show up is well over 6 months after closing. Some of them take close to a year.
So let's get into it. Here's number 10, infestation, termites, ants, sometimes rodents. This is the least expensive claim on the list. The average amount the buyer demands in these cases were just under $19,000. And sometimes it surfaces around 4.5 months after closing.
And here's the thing, this is one of the easiest ones to get ahead of. If you've ever had a pest treatment done at your home, just say so. Write down what was treated and when. Keep your report or your treatment warranty in your file. It costs you nothing to mention it, and it definitely helps to protect you. And I want you to hold on to this because it's true for every single item we're going to cover today. It costs less to fix and disclose than it does to hide and get caught. We're going to keep coming back to that all the way to number 1.
Number 9 is plumbing. Now here's something worth knowing about on this one. Plumbing is actually the most common reason sellers get sued in the entire study. Nearly 1 in 4 claims come back to plumbing alone. This is not the most expensive mistake on this list, but it is the most frequent one.
The average amount demanded in plumbing cases was just over $38,000, and these claims tend to surface around 4 months after closing. And most of these aren't dramatic situations. We're talking about a slow leak under a sink, an old supply line, something that got patched but never fully fixed. So before you list, go run every faucet in your home, check under every cabinet. If anything has ever leaked, even if you already took care of it, put it on the form. That's it. That's all you have to do.
The fact that it is fixed doesn't mean it doesn't have to be disclosed. Those are two different things in Texas. Stick with us because number 7 is the one the state of Texas actually requires you to answer on your seller's disclosure form. There is no wiggle room on this one.
Number 8 is leaks, not plumbing this time. Think your roof, your windows, flashing around the chimney.
These jump up to an average demand of just over $163,000. And they take almost 6 months to surface.
The cost goes up because these are sneaky. A leak can stop showing symptoms for a while and you're convinced it's resolved. But if it happened at your home even years ago, write down what caused it and what was done to fix it, because don't let the fact that it seems like it's okay now just talk you out of disclosing it.
Number 7, flooding. This one isn't optional in Texas. The law requires flood questions directly on the disclosure form.
These average close to $180,000 and take about 8.5 months to surface. You have to say whether your home has flooded in the last 5 years, whether it sits in a floodplain, and whether you've ever received flood insurance money on it. Even if it only happened once, even if it was minor, it goes on the form, and that's not a judgment call that you get to make.
And number 6 is the one that doesn't just risk a lawsuit. It can stop a deal before you ever get there. It's legal issues and permits. These average just around $200,000 and it takes about 8 months to surface.
But here's what makes this one different from everything else on this list. It can stop your deal before you even get to closing. A lot of buyers are going to ask about permit status before they write an offer or during the option period before they commit. They're not trying to be difficult. They just don't want to inherit a problem the city could come after them for later or get stuck sorting it out themselves when it's their turn to sell. So an undisclosed permit issue doesn't just risk a lawsuit down the road. It can cost you, the buyer, altogether or stall your whole sale while everyone tries to figure out what to do.
And if a city finds out about an unpermitted work, they can require you to pull the permit anyway. Paying for it now is almost always faster and cheaper than losing a buyer or dealing with a claim after closing.
We actually walked through this with a client firsthand, and having helped sellers in the Dallas suburbs for over 20 years, this one still stands out. They bought a home with a garage that had been converted to a living space over 4 decades earlier, back when that area didn't require a permit for the work to be done. It was grandfathered in, so nobody thought twice about it. When they went to sell, the buyer's loan required permits for that conversion, and the city wouldn't issue one after the fact. Their only solution was to convert the living space back to a garage, with it being at the current building codes. That would have been a major, costly project.
The only way the buyer's lender would approve the loan was if the house appraised for the current amount, without including the converted square footage. Thankfully it did. But this deal could have cost the seller a buyer or the money to convert it back.
You don't want to cause delays or stress like this during a transaction. So if you have had any work done on your home, know whether it was permitted. If it wasn't, look into getting that squared away before you list for sale. It's almost always less painful than what comes next if you don't. Now, the next 4 issues are where things start to get really expensive.
Number 5, roofing. These average around $237,000 and takes about 8 months to surface.
Here's what typically happens with roofing claims. The seller knows the roof has had some issues in the past. Maybe they had done a repair a couple of years back. So they figure it's handled. They don't put it on the seller's disclosure because in their mind, it's not a problem anymore.
Then 8 months later, the new owner goes through a bad storm. Water comes in and the roofer tells them that they see that the roof had previous repairs that did not fix the issue. The homeowner is now looking at either a major repair bill or a big deductible to pay their insurance company.
That's when the letter gets written from an attorney, and the previous owner finds out months later after they've already moved on.
The thing is, the seller wasn't trying to pull anything. They generally thought it was resolved. But resolved and disclosed are 2 completely, totally different things in Texas. You have to say both.
So if you have any doubt about your roof at all, get a roofer to look at it, not just a general home inspector. Disclose the age of your roof and any past repairs or insurance claims, even ones that already got paid out and resolved. That history matters, all of it. And when you get to number 1, you'll see exactly how small, undisclosed things can stack up into the single most expensive claim on the entire list.
Number 4, mold and water damage. These average close to $247,000 and surface around 6 months out.
This one usually traces back to a leak or a plumbing issue somewhere. It gets its own category because once mold is involved, the cost to remediate and the health concerns around it raise the stakes dramatically. If there's ever been visible mold in your home or any professional remediation done, disclose it and keep documentation of what was done and when. Painting over a water stain doesn't erase the cause of it. The cause and the fix both need to be on your form.
Number 3, HVAC. These average over $265,000 and they take around 8 months to surface.
And a lot of these aren't a sudden breakdown. It's a system that needed the same repair more than once, and the seller just kept getting it fixed without telling anyone because it kept working again. So disclose your system's age and any repairs over the same issue more than once. That pattern matters to a buyer and they'll want to know about it.
The next 2 are the ones that really hurt you, and the cost is very high.
Number 2, foundation. These average over $300,000 and take around 8 months to come up.
Texas soil moves, so some foundation work is pretty common around here, and that's not the problem. The problem is not disclosing it when you sell.
If your home has ever had piers, leveling, or any kind of foundation repair done, disclose it and hold on to the engineer's report or the warranty paperwork. A documented repair that's been disclosed is a completely different situation than a repair nobody mentioned. And here's something a lot of sellers don't think about. If there's a warranty from the foundation company, that warranty often has to go through a specific process to be transferred over to the new owner. There are steps involved, sometimes forms to fill out, sometimes a fee, and if nobody knew about the repair in the first place, that whole process gets skipped. Now the buyer is sitting in a home with a repaired foundation and no warranty coverage because the transfer never happened.
Document it, disclose it, and know what it takes to get that warranty moved over before you ever get to the closing table.
And honestly, think about it from the buyer's side for a second. If you found out after closing that the foundation had been repaired and nobody told you, how would that make you feel? That's exactly how these claims start.
And that brings us to the most expensive issue in the entire study. And it's not what most people think or they would guess. It's the general condition of the home.
In the Cases Seller Shield study, the average amount a buyer demanded in this category was $356,000 per claim. That's what buyers ask for in these individual cases, and even if a case settles for less, the legal fees, the time, the stress of it all are already real before a single dollar changes hands.
And here's what makes this one the most different from any other category on this list. It's not one thing.
It's everything a buyer feels like they weren't told, all stacked into one claim. The cosmetic fix before listing, the small repair nobody thought was worth writing down, the thing that got painted over before photos, the HVAC that kept needing the same fix. When a buyer files a general home condition claim, they can pull all of that at once. And the vagueness of it all is exactly what makes the most expensive. A buyer's attorney can cast a very wide net when the claim is this broad.
That's what makes this the most dangerous one on this list and the most preventable. And here's what we've learned over our experience of selling homes. Once a buyer finds an issue, they start looking for other issues. And the more they find, the more upset they get. It totally snowballs.
So here's what we actually tell every seller we sit down with. When in doubt, disclose it. That one sentence would have prevented most cases in this entire study.
Every single item on this list costs less to fix and disclose than it does to hide and get caught. All 10 of them, no exceptions.
A pre-listing inspection is always something you can do if you want extra peace of mind going in. We don't require it. What we do hold to is honesty on that form every single time. So here's what you can do right now. Write down everything you know about your home, even things you've already taken care of. Keep your repair records and permits somewhere easy to find. And when something feels like a gray area, that feeling is your answer. Disclose it.
We're curious which one of these items surprised you the most. So drop us a comment below.
And if you want to know what not to fix before you list, that's exactly what we're covering next, because some of the repairs you think you need to make before selling can actually cost you more money than you get back. We're breaking down 10 repairs Dallas area sellers should never make before selling, and a couple of them might completely change how you're thinking about your home right now.